What's happening, YouTube? This is Jameson, and I'm here to drop some secret knowledge. Let's get it. So, the topic for today's conversation that I would like to have with you guys is self-acceptance. Now, self-acceptance is something that each and every individual has to deal with. I don't want to be really boring with this because I'm sure you can easily look up some information on how to accept yourself. Alright? But what I wanted to talk about today is my own personal subjective story with self-acceptance and why self-acceptance is so fucking hard. That shit is fucking hard. I'm not gonna lie to you. Loving yourself is really fucking hard. I don't know why. Like, you would think love is easy, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but that shit is fucking hard, alright? Now, I want to tell you guys my advice on self-acceptance. How to accept yourself, because honestly, that shit is really hard. It's really hard to accept yourself. So, I'm going to give you what happened to me, alright? So, real key, I am a super thinker. A super thinker, super analyzer. Not an analyzer, a super analyzer. So I would literally analyze every single detail of what I do, every single moment. So anytime I said anything, I would analyze the fuck out of it. And I kind of lived most of my life like that up until now, where I would literally think and analyze every single thing. And what I would do is take every thought that came into my head and I just analyze the fuck out of it. So I get one thought, one simple thought, and then all of a sudden there'd be all these quantum physics equations. Like, this shit was crazy. And yeah, it's just like, it was impossible to even exist, because every time I breathed, anytime I got up and walked over there, my mind was just berating me and saying some shit. Like, I'd just be chilling and some like negative thought would come in, and then my mind would blow it up and it'd be like, what the fuck, man, I can't even like eat or some shit like that, you know? So a lot of self-acceptance has to do with your relationship, specifically with your thoughts. Of course, with your body as well, and with the entirety of who you are, yes. But I'd say it all comes down to your thoughts. Now, I truly believe that self-acceptance, it comes to accepting the mind, because the mind is the one that is wreaking all this havoc. Now, I'm not here to paint a bad picture of the mind, because what we perceive of as the mind, that's what the mind's going to be. So if we perceive the mind as bad, then your mind is going to look bad, because of course that's the way you're looking at it. So what's important here when it comes to self-acceptance is that it doesn't matter what thoughts you have. It doesn't matter what's happening on the outside. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you feel. You could feel good or you could feel bad, but that has nothing to do with accepting who you are, alright? So in order to accept yourself, the key here is to understand that, one, these are thoughts that are not necessarily you. They're not really... Even though you may have a thought that says me or I, that doesn't necessarily mean it actually was you who was thinking that. And that was a huge realization for me, is like, even though I had a thought like I was hungry or I want to do this, that doesn't necessarily equate to actual me, I. It was just something that the mind produced, and I mistaken it for me. And that's one of the huge problems of why it's hard to accept oneself. If you don't understand thoughts and how crazy they can be, then it's easy to get sucked into the world of the mind. And it's a horrible thing because you can get locked in your own mind. And that's a horrible thing. So the key to self-acceptance is to understand that you are just experiencing these thoughts and feelings. You are just experiencing these things. Although they may be a part of you and they are a part of your experience, they are changing. They are influencing you. Despite that, you have to learn and not force, but just learn with a gentle mind, an open and compassionate mind, that no matter what happens to you, good or bad, doesn't matter if it's good or bad, no matter what happens to you, you will not be happy with yourself until you accept what is. Now look, I know it's easy to accept yourself when everything's going great, when you got a girlfriend or boyfriend, or your life is just working out in your favor. It's easy to accept yourself. But when shit hits the fan, that's when it gets hard. When you have all these upheavals of emotion, good luck accepting yourself then. It's really hard. Especially if you're bored, or you're miserable, or you just feel unattractive. It's very hard to accept yourself because you have to accept the truth of how you feel. And that can be very, very unsettling. So, another key with self-acceptance is to always keep it real with yourself, but have the end goal in mind. And that end goal is to accept what is, no matter what thoughts you have. Accept it as they are. When you are in a full state of self-acceptance, you're letting your mind be. You're not trying to control or manipulate your mind. It's not about controlling your mind, okay? Accept that the mind does its own thing. When you try to interfere with that, you're only gonna cause more havoc and chaos inside of your being. And we don't want that. You're just adding unnecessary resistance and pressure. So what you should do if you want to accept yourself is to just take a look at whatever thoughts you're having and just be okay with it. And if you're not okay with it, this is where you should keep it real and say, man, I'm not okay with these thoughts I'm having right now. Say why it bothers you. Express why you feel that way. Express as much as you can to the bottom of the marrow. And then once you've done that, once you know you've expressed all you can, whether through speaking it out loud, you can even think it inside your head how you feel. You can even write it down. There are many different outlets. But make sure you express how you feel, even if it goes against everything. Because you still have that. Always keep it emotionally honest, 110-50 with yourself. That is an absolute must in order to fully accept yourself. Alright? So keep it real with yourself. And whatever is going on inside of you or outside of you, just learn how to be okay with it. And it's something, yes, you have to kind of learn how to do it. It's not an instant thing. Nothing is instant like that unless you put it in the microwave. But other than that, this isn't a microwave. This is a human body and a human consciousness. You know, we're not using microwaves out here. So, literally, keep it real with yourself, no matter what. That's hard. It's hard because sometimes you have to accept that you may feel like shit sometimes. And it's hard to accept yourself when you feel that way. But Sometimes you just gotta suck it up and do it. Because you're still gonna feel like shit whether you accept it or not. Alright? Keep it real with yourself. And then after you've done that, you've done all you can. You've done all you can. So what else can you do? Even if you were to change it, that may change it temporarily, but you still have to deal with these feelings and thoughts. These thoughts don't go away when you try to push them. Alright? But if you need to listen to a little music or something like that to help you out, then definitely do that. You know, if you need to ease the turmoil that may be going on if you're going through one of those times. Alright? Learn how to be okay. Meaning, just let everything be as it is. Just let everything be as it is. Don't try to change it. Just let everything be as it is. Because you are not those things. You're not the mind. You're not your feelings. Stop trying to control them. They're not in your control. Just let them be the way they want to be. And what you'll find out of that is a very unexpected surprise. They say the beauty of self-acceptance is that once you accept yourself for who you are, the paradox is that everything will change. And it will change in the way that you least expect it. The best changes happen when it's just unexpected and you don't really care about the outcome. You don't even care about changing. Because when you accept yourself, you're not worried about, okay, do I have to think this way? Or is thinking this way wrong? Am I wrong to have these thoughts? The paradox is when you accept yourself, there will be a change. And it will take you off guard because it's like, wow, who knew all along that in order to be that person that I wanted to become, that so-called desired self, all I had to do was accept who I am. Because that person that you've always wanted to be, you are already that person. But if you have all these thoughts, you're not going to be able to see that. Thoughts are not bad and they're not good. They're just thoughts. Alright? So yeah, guys, please learn how to accept yourself. Start right now. It's hard sometimes, but it's worth it. You get so much out of it. Alright? So yeah. But thank you for watching, and of course, feel free to subscribe to my channel, tell your friends, leave a thumbs up, and feel free to leave a comment if you like as well. But thank you for watching. This is Jameson Paradise.